In the dim Admiral's office, long shadows dance across Dönitz's face, illuminated by a single desk lamp. Admiral Dönitz reviews naval reports, his grim expression a mask of war's relentless pressure. The Spartan office reflects Dönitz's disciplined nature, every detail meticulously in place. Distant rumbles of bombing raids echo, a constant, haunting reminder of the war. His eyes scan the reports, searching for a glimmer of hope amidst the unfolding chaos. A heavy silence descends as the weight of command settles upon Dönitz in the lonely office. In the war room, Dönitz's stern gaze sweeps across the tense faces of Nazi officers gathered around the long table. Maps of the Atlantic dominate, a stark reminder of the dire naval situation as Allied forces advance. The air is thick with unspoken dread, each officer acutely aware of the war's relentless grip. Low, urgent voices fill the room, debating desperate strategies to defy the inevitable defeat. Each searches for an advantage, a flicker of hope against the overwhelming tide of the Allied advance. A German U-boat lurks in the Atlantic's depths, unseen beneath the waves, a silent predator in the vast ocean. The periscope rises, cutting through the surface, a cold, metallic eye, observing an Allied convoy in the distance. Inside the U-boat, anticipation fills the cramped space as the crew readies for the attack. Tension mounts as the crew meticulously prepares to unleash a barrage of torpedoes, their target locked in sight. The U-boat holds steady, a moment of silent intensity before the ocean erupts in chaos. Inside the U-boat, harsh fluorescent lights illuminate the cramped space and the faces of the tense crew. The engines thrum, a constant, low vibration that underscores the tension. The captain reads the telex from Dönitz, his brow furrowed deeper with each line, the message weighing heavily. Prioritize military targets. Avoid civilian ships whenever possible, the captain reads, his voice echoing in the confined space. Doubt clouds his face as he questions the order. Whenever possible? What about the consequences if we can't? In the Admiral's dimly lit office, Dönitz sits beneath a single lamp, the heavy wooden desk reflecting the somber light. Intelligence reports fill his hands, each page deepening the furrows in his brow as he absorbs the grim details. The reports reveal the horrific conditions within prisoner-of-war camps, each word a blow. A visible disturbance flickers across Dönitz's face, the weight of the information pressing down on him. The silence of the office amplifies the unspoken horrors contained within the documents he holds. His expression hardens, a mask of resolve forming as he confronts the brutal reality before him. Gaunt faces huddle in the prisoner-of-war camp, a stark tableau of starvation and despair etched under the unforgiving daylight. Disease festers in the cramped quarters, a silent, invisible enemy preying on the weakened bodies of the Allied prisoners. A German guard looms, his face a mask of indifference, his eyes scanning the scene without empathy or humanity. The camp stands as a testament to suffering, each prisoner a symbol of resilience amidst the brutal reality of war. In the dim Admiral's office, Dönitz sits under a single lamp, shadows playing across his face as he signs documents. His brow is furrowed in concentration. He secretly orders supplies diverted to POW camps. Defiance burns in his eyes, a silent rebellion against direct orders from Berlin. A bead of sweat betrays his inner turmoil, a consequence of his high-stakes gamble. Treason hangs in the air, a risk Dönitz knowingly embraces for his cause. Stern-faced officers surround a long table in the war room, their crisp uniforms a stark contrast to the gravity of the situation. Dönitz gestures emphatically, his conviction cutting through the tense atmosphere. Gentlemen, we must consider the humanitarian aspect. With all due respect, Admiral, Officer 1 retorts, prioritizing civilians will only weaken our war effort. Skepticism fills the air as officers exchange dubious glances, the weight of their decision hanging heavy in the room. Under the vast sky, a Swedish merchant ship forges through the Atlantic, its hull heavy with vital supplies. The vessel cuts through the waves, unknowingly nearing a menacing German naval blockade. Unbeknownst to the crew, their precious cargo of food and medicine carries a weight far beyond its measure. The scene is set, an innocent passage towards hope, juxtaposed against the stark reality of war's unforgiving grip. Inside the U-boat, fluorescent lights reveal the captain, weathered and worn, as he stares intently at a message. Sweat glistens on his brow as he rereads the order, the weight of command pressing down. He looks up at his first officer, young and stoic, awaiting orders in the cramped space. Dönitz has ordered us not to attack the Swedish ship, the captain declares, his voice heavy with reluctance. The captain questions, despite its strategic value to the Allies. In the Admiral's office, Dönitz is hunched over a nautical map, a single lamp casting stark shadows on his weary face. He traces naval routes, muttering calculations of distance and risk, his brow furrowed in deep thought. The weight of past battles and potential civilian impact presses heavily on his mind, a silent plea. Ghosts of the past linger, their spectral forms dancing in the dim light of the Admiral's office. In the heart of the Berlin bunker, Hitler's eyes burn with manic intensity as he slams his fist upon the war table. Maps and strategy papers cascade to the floor, mirroring the chaos consuming the Reich. Total war. We must unleash the full might of the Reich. Hitler roars, his voice echoing off the concrete walls. Dönitz stands rigidly, a mask of impassivity veiling his face as Hitler's fury fills the bunker. A flicker of doubt betrays Dönitz's inner turmoil, hidden behind his steely gaze. Crush our enemies, show no mercy, Hitler commands, his words laced with desperation and manic zeal. In the Admiral's office, a single desk lamp casts harsh shadows on Dönitz, his face grim as he receives a coded message. A nervous ensign stands rigidly, the weight of the message palpable in the silent room. Dönitz scans the message, his eyes narrowing as the details of a planned attack emerge from the coded words. The gravity of the situation etches deeper lines into Dönitz's face, a storm brewing beneath his controlled exterior. His fist slams against the desk, the sudden sound echoing his outrage. A hospital ship. They would stoop this low. The dim light flickers, mirroring the turmoil and moral outrage consuming Dönitz in the face of the enemy's actions. In the inky blackness of the Atlantic, a German U-boat silently navigates, a dark predator against the starlit canvas. On board, the crew readies for an attack, their movements precise and deadly as they target a distant hospital ship. Unbeknownst to them, Dönitz has secretly intervened, setting in motion a hidden agenda. The U-boat advances, a silhouette of impending doom, cutting through the waves towards its unsuspecting target. The vast ocean holds its breath, unaware of the tragic course about to unfold beneath the starlit sky. Inside the cramped U-boat, torpedoes stand ready as tension fills the air, the hum of barely contained power vibrating through the hull. A crackling message suddenly pierces the silence, a countermand cutting through the anticipation. The captain listens intently as the message unfolds, his brow furrowing deeper with each word received. The chilling news. New orders to divert. Confusion and frustration war across the captain's face. His gaze remains fixed on the radio, the weight of Dönitz's unexpected command pressing down on him. Sunlight floods the Admiral's Spartan office, illuminating dust motes dancing in the air. Dönitz stands rigidly before the imposing desk, his face a mask of controlled tension. Framed naval charts adorn the walls, silent witnesses to the unfolding drama. Every detail in the room speaks of authority and the weight of command. Dönitz's unwavering gaze hints at the storm brewing beneath his calm exterior. Under harsh fluorescent lights, the Berlin conference room buzzes with unspoken tension, faces grim and unyielding. Dönitz, in his immaculate naval uniform, stands defiant, a solitary figure against the weight of judgment. He gestures, his voice resonating in the sterile space as he tries to reason with the impassive panel. I acted in the best interests of Germany and humanity, Dönitz declares, his words echoing with conviction. Every decision was weighed, every order considered, he insists, his gaze unwavering despite the hostile atmosphere. His words hang in the air, unanswered, as a palpable wave of hostility washes over him. Dim light casts long shadows in Admiral Dönitz's office, a silent witness to a life defined by nautical charts and naval portraits. Weariness etches deep lines on Dönitz's face as he sits amidst scattered papers, a leader awaiting his fate. The heavy silence is broken only by the clock's ticking, a stark reminder of time slipping away. What have I done? Was it all worth it? Dönitz's voice echoes in the dim room, a lament for glory lost. German military police vehicles approach the naval base, their presence stark against the gray concrete and steely sea. Armed officers move with cold precision, their movements betraying no emotion as they converge on their target. Dönitz is placed under arrest, his expression unreadable as the weight of the situation settles upon him. Without resistance, Dönitz is led away, a solitary figure swallowed by the machinery of military justice. The gates of the naval base loom large as Dönitz disappears within, his fate sealed by the silent march of history. In the stark military prison, Dönitz sits on a cold metal chair as 3 Nazi officials stand before him, their faces betraying grim intent. "Admiral Dönitz, we have questions regarding your recent actions," Official 1 says, his voice echoing in the sparsely furnished room. Dönitz responds firmly, his gaze unwavering. "I have answered all your questions." Official 2's accusatory tone intensifies the tension. "Your disobedience is a matter of record. We need to know why." Official 3 presses further. "Who are you working with in the resistance?" Dönitz retorts, "I am loyal to the Reich." Inside the stark military prison, the dampness chills Dönitz's cell as shadows flicker across the stone, mirroring the turmoil within. Dönitz sits on the narrow cot, his face a mask of resolve, unyielding despite the cold and the looming threat. He holds his silence as a fortress, defying the pressure to betray his principles or reveal his allies' names. The weight of the impending show trial and certain death press upon him, yet his determination remains unbroken. Dust motes dance in the weak sunlight filtering through barbed wire. Allied soldiers move cautiously through the camp, their faces grim with the weight of what they see. Survivors, skeletal and haunted, emerge from the barracks. Blinking, they face the sudden, stark reality of freedom. In stark flashback, Dönitz returns to his sterile office, his face a mask of controlled fury and disgust. Images of the concentration camp are seared into his memory, a stark contrast to the office's order. The air in the Admiral's office is heavy with unspoken horror, a palpable weight of the atrocities. Dönitz clenches his fists, a silent vow forming in his heart amidst the sterile surroundings. He resolves to do what he can to alleviate the suffering, a grim promise etched on his face. Inside the stark military prison, Dönitz receives the notice, his weathered face a mask of stoic acceptance. Nuremberg, a city of ruins, awaits a stage set for a trial that will judge Dönitz's wartime actions. A flicker of resolve ignites in Dönitz's eyes, a silent vow to face the impending storm with unwavering courage. He straightens, the weight of command and consequence settling heavily on his shoulders. In the solitude of his cell, Dönitz steels himself, preparing for the legal battle that lies ahead. The silence is broken only by the echoes of past decisions, now haunting the confines of his prison. Inside the Nuremberg courtroom, Dönitz stands, a figure amidst the highest echelons of the Nazi regime. The weight of war crimes and crimes against humanity presses down on him, a tangible burden. He faces the tribunal, his expression unreadable as accusations fill the somber air. The courtroom is silent, save for the quiet rustling of papers, the stage set for judgment. Dönitz's fate hangs in the balance as the world watches, seeking justice. His eyes reflect a mix of defiance and resignation, a man cornered by his past. Inside the Nuremberg courtroom, echoes of past horrors fill the air, heavy with the weight of unspoken suffering. Witnesses recount harrowing details, each word a brushstroke painting a grim portrait of the Nazi regime. The courtroom is a crucible of raw emotion, where justice and memory collide with devastating force. Evidence mounts, a damning indictment etched in the faces of those who listen, their expressions a mix of grief. The systematic cruelty unfolds, a chilling testament to the depths of inhumanity. Tension permeates every corner, a palpable sense of dread as the truth of the atrocities is revealed. Dönitz stands firm in the Nuremberg courtroom, sunlight highlighting the sweat on his brow as tension fills the air. He gestures, a desperate plea echoing through the silent courtroom, packed with watchful eyes. "I was a soldier following orders," Dönitz cries, his voice strained, resonating with conviction. The dust motes dance in the sunbeams, indifferent to the gravity of the moment, the weight of history. "My actions were motivated by a desire to protect my country," he declares, a final stand against judgment. His words hang in the air, unanswered, as the court awaits, the fate of a nation hanging in the balance. In the Nuremberg courtroom, Allied naval officers stand tall, their uniforms a stark reminder of past naval battles. They testify for Dönitz, their voices echoing with the weight of wartime decisions and moral ambiguities. Each word hangs in the air, a testament to the complexities of war and the lives it touched. They acknowledge Dönitz's actions, revealing a hidden layer of protection for Allied sailors. A somber recognition dawns. Dönitz's strategy, amidst conflict, saved countless Allied lives. Solemn light pierces the tense Nuremberg courtroom, revealing dust motes in the air. The prosecution stands firm, determination etched on their faces, ready to deliver justice. A somber atmosphere permeates the hall, heavy with the weight of past atrocities. Dönitz was a key figure in the Nazi regime, the prosecution declares, and he must be held accountable. Sunlight streams through the towering windows of the Nuremberg courtroom, illuminating dust motes dancing in the profound silence. The judges, their faces etched with gravity, engage in solemn contemplation, the weight of history bearing down on them. Each judge pores over the documents, their minds replaying testimonies in the echoing chamber. The air hangs heavy with the gravity of their decision, a silent vigil of justice in the making. The fate of nations rests in their hands as they navigate the labyrinth of evidence and moral reckoning. A hush descends upon the packed Nuremberg courtroom, every breath held in anticipation. Tension fills the air, thick and suffocating, as the world awaits the verdict. Dönitz stands, a rigid figure of military bearing, his face an unreadable mask. Dönitz is found guilty, booms the narrator, the words echoing through the silent chamber. A collective gasp ripples through the crowd, a mix of shock and grim satisfaction. But spared the death penalty, the narrator continues, a twist of fate hanging in the balance. Inside the stark military prison, Dönitz stands unyielding as the heavy sentence descends. 10 years echo through the sterile air, each word a hammer blow against the silence. His face, a study in stoicism, remains an impenetrable mask, betraying nothing. The weight of the verdict settles, unseen, upon Dönitz as he absorbs his fate. In the Spartan prison cell, Dönitz sits surrounded by books, sunlight filtering through barred windows, illuminating dust motes. He spends his days reading and writing, wrestling with the weight of past commands in his solitary existence. The events of the war weigh heavily as he tries to make sense of the choices that haunt his waking thoughts. Alone, Dönitz reflects on decisions made, the past casting long shadows in the confines of his cell. Sunlight pierces the barred window of Dönitz's cell, illuminating dust motes dancing in the air, a stark contrast to the cold, gray walls. Dönitz sits on his cot, lost in the words of worn letters, each a testament to lives he saved. A faint smile gracing his lips, the letters, softened with age, offer a poignant reminder of courage and humanity amidst the desolation of his prison. Each word is a silent echo of gratitude, a stark contrast to the isolation and judgment surrounding him. Dönitz sits alone on his cot, the weight of the prison heavy on his shoulders. The echoing clang of the steel door signals a moment of reprieve. His family enters, their faces a mixture of worry and unwavering love. "We're here, Carl. We'll always be here for you," his wife says, her voice thick with emotion. "We love you, Father," his son cries, a desperate plea for connection. "We believe in you," his daughter whispers as they embrace him tightly. Dönitz emerges from the stark prison gates, his eyes adjusting to the sudden, blinding sunlight. A small gathering of supporters waves enthusiastically, their banner a splash of color against the gray stone. He squints, a flicker of surprise crossing his face at the sight of the welcoming crowd. The air crackles with mixed emotions, freedom, defiance, and the weight of the past. Dönitz enters his war-scarred home, sunlight illuminating the dust motes dancing through the cracked walls. A somber expression settles on Dönitz's face as he surveys the damage, a poignant reminder of the conflict. He rolls up his sleeves, a silent vow to rebuild etched into his determined gaze. Picking up a broken picture frame, Dönitz is lost in the past, his mind flooded with memories. The weight of the past and the challenge of the future converge in Dönitz's weary eyes. Sunlight floods Dönitz's study as he sits at his desk, a portrait of intense focus etched on his face. His pen dances across the pages of his memoirs, each stroke a deliberate attempt to shape his legacy. Wartime experiences and the weight of decisions fill the room, spilling onto the pages under his hand. The sun casts long shadows, a silent witness to the justifications and explanations he carefully crafts. Dönitz sits in his armchair, sunlight streaming through the window. Historians and journalists surround him, pens poised, ready to record every word. The comfortable room belies the weight of history they are about to discuss. An air of anticipation fills the room as Dönitz prepares to speak. Notebooks are open, expectant faces turn towards the former admiral. The bright sunlight casts long shadows, hinting at hidden truths. Sunlight fills Dönitz's modest living room, illuminating dust motes and the weight of memories. Plaques line the walls, silent testaments to Dönitz's wartime humanitarian efforts. A representative presents Dönitz with a small, ornate box, a symbol of gratitude. Dönitz accepts the gift, his face etched with weariness and a quiet, enduring pride. Dönitz walks among the silent gravestones, his face a canvas of deep sorrow under the solemn daylight. Each step echoes the weight of lives lost, a burden etched into his weary posture. He pauses, his fingers tracing names on cold stone, each a stark reminder of conflict's cost. The sun casts long shadows, a visual lament stretching across the endless rows of the fallen. The cost of conflict is etched in stone, Dönitz reflects. Peace is the active presence of understanding. Inside Dönitz's warm home, a fire crackles, casting a gentle glow that dances across the room. Dönitz sits in a comfortable armchair, the flickering firelight illuminating his thoughtful face. He holds letters, each a testament from those whose lives he touched, gratitude etched on their faces. With each word, a profound sense of the difference he made washes over him, a quiet realization. The letters speak of lives saved, hope restored, and a legacy of compassion that transcends time. In the soft glow of the fire, Dönitz reflects on the impact of his actions, a moment of serene contemplation. Dönitz's home is filled with warmth and soft light, a haven of peace in his twilight years. Dönitz sits in quiet contemplation, the lines on his face telling tales of battles and burdens. His family gathers around, their presence a comforting balm to his weary soul. Friends share stories and laughter, filling the room with a sense of camaraderie and fond remembrance. In the gentle embrace of loved ones, Dönitz finds solace and serenity in his final day. A simple grave marks Dönitz's final resting place. The stark stone, a silent testament to a life of naval command. Engraved on the tombstone, his name stands as a cold reminder of the man, Admiral Dönitz. The dates etched in stone, birth and death, encapsulate his controversial journey through history. Sunlight casts long shadows across the grave, symbolizing the fading legacy of a once powerful figure. The quiet solitude of the graveyard whispers of finality, a stark contrast to the tumultuous life he led. In the archive, shafts of sunlight illuminate dust motes dancing around towering shelves packed with historical files. A historian meticulously pores over scattered documents and photographs spread across a vast wooden table. Each item is carefully examined, a puzzle piece in the complex life of Dönitz during the war. The historian's brow furrows, deep in thought, as they trace the faded ink of wartime correspondence. An old photograph captures a moment in time, a silent witness to the decisions that shaped history. Sunlight floods the classroom, illuminating dust motes as the teacher addresses his attentive students. He gestures with chalk, his words painting vivid pictures in the students' minds. Faces reflect a mix of concentration and contemplation as they absorb the lecture. The teacher poses a thought-provoking question. World War II wasn't just about good versus evil, it was a conflict filled with moral ambiguities. Take Dönitz, for example. Under the solemn gaze of the memorial, people gather, their silence a symphony of respect and remembrance. Sunlight kisses the polished stone, its light a stark contrast to the long shadows that stretch across the names. Each head bows in solitary reflection, a private moment of connection with the past and its echoes. At the base, wreaths of vibrant flowers form a colorful tapestry, a heartfelt tribute to valor and loss. The air hangs heavy with unspoken stories, a shared understanding of sacrifice that binds them together. Sunlight floods the museum, illuminating panels that chronicle Dönitz's life, his naval ascent, and strategic choices. Visitors wander through the exhibit, their shadows stretching across displays of Dönitz's career. Informational panels reveal details, inviting contemplation on the complexities of Dönitz's controversial legacy. A photograph captures a young Dönitz, the ambition clear in his eyes, a stark contrast to later controversies. Scale models of U-boats sit encased in glass, silent testaments to Dönitz's naval strategies and their impact. Some visitors pause, their faces etched with thought as they read the narratives of Dönitz's life and times. Sunlight floods the library, illuminating swirling dust motes as a young woman sits absorbed in a thick biography. Her brow furrows in concentration, her fingers tracing the dense text about Dönitz with a mix of curiosity and unease. The weight of history settles around her in the silent, sun-drenched room. Each page turned brings her deeper into the complex narrative of power and consequence. The camera sweeps across the vast ocean, its endless expanse mirroring the weight of Dönitz's decisions. Golden sunlight bathes the water, a serene mask over the ocean's unfathomable depths. Waves roll gently, each crest a reminder of lives touched, saved, or lost to the sea's embrace. The horizon blurs where sky meets water, an infinite canvas reflecting a legacy of command. As the sun dips lower, its light casts long shadows, hinting at the stories submerged beneath the waves. The ocean whispers secrets of war and salvation, its surface a deceptive calm over turbulent depths.